we're here.
Hello.
We're here. Woohoo!
Hi
Welcome
guys.
in.
Oh, Pins.
You enjoy
Pins
getting
is
to say
here.
it?
I
Oh
do.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
you tried me for saying it when it's on your channel.
I do. People say it on my Twitch stream all the time, and I'm like, I'm wrong one.
You know, it
It
spreads
travels
our
with us.
brand. Yeah,
It does.
it's brand recognition. You can't be too mad about it.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I get mad at myself when I say it, and then I'm like, no, wrong channel. Wrong channel.
that's true. I regularly use it in like lore dump, and I'm like, "That's bad, Josh." I mean, lore dump is a subsidiary of Tweet. but-
It's part of Tweet.
yeah, it is.
So, like, I guess it's okay.
It's
like,
okay.
courage there.
Hello, audience. Hi.
Hi,
We
guys.
completely forgot you were here and went into like.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my God, we have a very special guest today, don't we, Parker?
We do.
We do?
This is my best friend. Introduce
Oh, me.
introduce yourself.
Hello. Hello, everybody. You've seen my face before. I am Pins of Pinssnip Cosplay. I stream on Twitch. I post occasionally on TikTok. Very occasionally I post on Instagram, and I troll Twitter a lot. So yeah, those are the places where you can.
So excited
Yeah.
to have you here, Pins. We're gonna do some quick
Yay.
announcements, and then we're gonna look at what you've got to paint, what Parker's got to paint, what I've got to paint, and then we're gonna start asking very deep personal questions, and hopefully, you
Yes.
know, you'll break down, and it'll be
cry.
really raw for all
If
of
you
us.
don't make me cry, I'm gonna be sad because it's known on Tweet that you get emotionally strangled.
Is that what we're going with?
I mean,
I've heard emotional humidity, but like,
Twee, come for the role play, stay for the emotional strangling.
watch us hurt our friends.
Jeez,
Is
Louise,
that our
that's terrible.
tagline?
All right, let's do some announcements, guys. So just so you know, guys, we have a fan Discord, and you can join that Discord by subscribing and follow the instructions that are going to pop up here in chat in just a minute. We also have podcast called Lore Dump, which you can find on Spotify and all other great podcast platforms. Check that sucker out. And we also have some amazing socials at Twitter, Instagram. Parker posts a bunch of stuff on Instagram with all the schedules. We've got live tweeting on Twitter. It's the best. And also check out our YouTube, which is the best place to get all of our VODs. If you want to catch this later, you always could do that. So please check those out. Just a heads up, November we have a big charity coming up over at our friend's channel. This Show is a Mimic, Shazam. So go take a look at twitch.tv/This Show is a Mimic. They will be setting up, and we will be prepping and promoting a big old charity stream event for November. So please take a look at that.
Super excited about that.
It's gonna be good. We've done some lore building in the middle of the night, which will be interesting to see. Our October charity is the National Breast Cancer Foundation, the NBCF. This month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the NBCF was founded to fill in the gaps of cancer care, ensuring every woman has the access and information she needs to get through every step of her breast cancer journey. It's a really important charity. It was brought to us by our dear friend Commune, who's regularly on the channel. It's near and dear to many of us who have family who have suffered from such things, so please take a look. Make a donation. There's a big donation button down below. Thank you to our amazing partners. Soundtail is providing our atmospheric music right now, and they are just absolutely legendary. Thank you to our amazing mods who are keeping up with my random and Parker's random and sporadic announcements. And thank you to our amazing sponsors, Skull Splitter Dice. They also have a link down below. They're doing a monthly giveaway that we run in our campaigns, so please take a look at Skull Splitter. It's really good.
It's just the
I'm sad I
ability of
didn't
just
get to
the
do it
very
this
like
time.
intense and then back to Josh voice.
Tonal changes.
It was great. I enjoyed it. It was perfect.
And on that, over to you, Parker.
Hi guys. So let's talk scheduling. So you've made it to the first thing for this week. We have a lot this week, so congratulations. Friday we will continue our spooky one-shots with iStat Plastic running Last Rites at 7 p.m. We have Conundrum Company as usual at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I believe we are still having a guest then. We will gain our Sean and also keep Sean 2.0. So that is Sarah's coffee. And
Two
then-
Seans! I'm in heaven!
Two Seans! Josh wished really, really hard. And then on Sunday, Josh will be running a very special Halloween-themed cosplay ground at 6 p.m. that Pins is in as well. So it's going to be amazing, guys. It's going to be super fun. Talking about socials, you guys can check out our Instagram. We are still doing our On Our Way to 8K giveaway. Once we hit 8K, we will do that giveaway for you guys. And then our last thing that I'm going to talk about, merch. We have a link for merch down below. It's great. I have journals and this wonderful Bim's water bottle and so many things. So go check it out. I really want a hoodie. I really do.
It's so cute.
So,
oh my god.
I think that's it.
That's it. All right, guys.
I
I'm
did
so
it.
proud of you.
We're on to
Thanks.
the most bestest part of the show, which is where
Just past the announcements.
Oh man, we're over.
that's what
It's
people
not.
show up for is the
We're going
announcements.
downhill from here,
We'll
guys.
show up for our announcements.
Pins, what's your experience miniature painting and arts and crafting and all of that? None.
So I have no experience miniature painting at
Okay.
all, which is why I'm not painting a miniature.
What are you painting today? What have you got for us?
I have, and you probably saw it on Saturday if you're watching Conundrum Company, dice tower we made a while ago, and I got jealous and I wanted to make my own. So this absurdly tall thing is based off of the Unseen University's Tower of Art from Terry Pratchett's Discworld series, and yeah, it took a lot of finagling for the dice not to get yeeted halfway across the room. But once we figured it out, it's actually a pretty nice tower. It has a big little catch basin.
That's
Well, I'm
amazing.
excited.
That's
And you
beautiful.
can't. This is going to utterly annihilate, but all the bricks are like scored in there, and it's gonna show up once I get the detailing.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that until you held it up. That's beautiful. Wow. Dang, Pins. All right, well, you may not paint minis, but you certainly craft cool
No.
dice towers. Jeez.
And then I do like to paint. I'm doing this, and I'm really proud about this. And
It's
we didn't
really
get a whole
good.
bunch of pictures with it, and I'm kind of sad about it. So I'm just
Hey,
showing
listen.
it where I can.
We did our best.
This is our arts and crafts show. Let's see it.
Just show and tell.
Parker, what do
Show
you
and tell.
got? What do you got?
What am I painting?
Yeah, what are you painting?
I'm painting this nightmare dragon. I'm gonna paint him orange and black, and hopefully he'll look like a nice little Halloween dragon.
That sculpt is gorgeous. Like, absolutely
Right?
gorgeous.
It's so pretty. I'm
I-
so excited.
Sent Ryan to the store and said, I want to paint something big, and he sent me pictures, and I said, is that a dragon? That's as far as I got.
That's so good. It's beautiful. I'm painting these friendos here. So these are the Dice's class character minis. I've already gotten a couple of them done. So the D20 fighter is finished, as is the D6 bard. But I have a wizard and I have a cleric that need to be finished. So I'm going to be going ahead and finishing these suckers up with a little shade and then maybe some highlight. We'll see how far I get. I never get as far as anybody else on this show. Everyone else like knocks it out of the park. I'm always like halfway done. So we'll see how far I get. But Pins, I don't think you need any kind of pointers for me. I think you got to like you don't need any. You're not painting a mini. You've got a master plan. You got this, right?
I have a general idea. Well, and this is going to be a lot of like where mini painting comes in, because I've actually learned a lot of my painting techniques from miniature painters and just watching people on like YouTube paint stuff like black washing and all that jazz. So
Yeah, that's a huge
I'm
thing
al-
that's used in prop making all the time.
yeah, so I know what I know because people are creative in every single way possible.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, though that means we're on to questions. Parker.
Heck yeah. All right, Pins, I think I know this answer, but how'd you get into D&D?
So you kind of know this answer. You don't know the full scope of this. I've always wanted to play D&D ever since the Lizzie McGuire episode where Gordo gets like sucked into tabletop.
I love
Like this is like a intense memory for me, and ever since then I've always wanted to play. And
Gordo, wow.
first, yeah, Gordo from Lizzie McGuire show? Lizzie McGuire? I don't remember what it's actually called now.
I'm sure that's right.
But yeah, it's like this entire plot point where it takes over his life, and it's all he can think about, and all these plot lines and stuff. And I'm like, haha, that'll never happen. And like last night, I was up till like 2 a.m. writing stuff for my character for the campaign that I'm in. So yeah, it does.
It does do that.
It does happen. But I didn't actually get a chance to play until college, where a friend of Parker and I was getting a game together, and I'm like, all right, I'm not doing anything during this time, so we played, and it wasn't the best experience in the world, but
Nope.
like still fun enough where I still wanted to try it. And then the next experience was at Dragon Con. They pay $2 and you get to play a 2-hour game. And so Parker and Snip and Ryan and I think it was just the 4 of us, went to go play, and it was a great time. So, and then ever since then, I've been hooked. Trying to get that fix in.
All the time.
All the time.
I mean, that's a mood. It really does get you.
It does.
And I think most people can attest to also, like, a lot of the time, even if you have a bad experience with your first game, it doesn't... Well, I don't know. That's probably a broad statement. But for me, like, I've met a lot of people who, despite having a bad experience, they, like, were still hooked. It didn't change their love of the game. I think that's probably not true for everyone, but it is interesting that some folks can still love it despite everything.
True.
So I know that you're a big Pathfinder player. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this question out to Pathfinder if you want. No obligation, but all of these questions you can answer with Pathfinder as well. Just let us know, because some people will be like, wait, that's not a...
That's not a thing.
What is that? What's your favorite class to play and why?
Oh, God. So... I don't know. I've been thinking about this question for a while. I don't have a favorite, and I think it's because I haven't played them all yet. So I can't necessarily say, oh yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely enjoying playing my sorcerer in Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Or as we call her, Druid Light. And I adore her to pieces, but I haven't played all the classes yet, so I don't know if that's my absolute favorite. But I'm absolutely enjoying just annihilating things and being a glass cannon as a sorcerer. So far, that's probably my favorite. But basically any class where you get to interact with animals. Let me be a Disney princess.
Yeah.
I feel that.
That's kind of where I am.
You're a big Artificer fan as well. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I so much fun. As far as D&D goes, like, I adore Artificers, and so far I've only gotten to play the Battle Mage and I haven't played an Alchemist. That's the one I haven't played yet. So I need to find a one-shot where I can play one, so I can say I conquered all 3.
You've done them all. The Artificer.
Done them all.
That's awesome.
But they're so much fun, and it scratches that, like, tinkerer itch that I have in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoy playing them and just coming up with, like, weird ways of how they would do spells, because, like, their flavor text is, like, it's not you just do magic, it's you create something to transfer that magic kind of situation.
It's such good flavor. It really is. Like, it's beautiful. Poetic.
So let's see. Do you have a favorite race to play?
Before this year, I was Team Dwarf. I played dwarves for everything. I think they're the best. I love them a lot.
Good friend.
But I'm really enjoying playing gnomes, and I just love the lore, especially in Pathfinder, the lore behind gnomes. And they're high energy enough for me and the type of character that I like to play that it comes through a lot. Dwarves tend to not be as hyper as I am.
That's the flavor you're looking for, is energetic. Okay, I can get behind that. That's cool. Okay, now there is an important bit, and you kind of already, like, you've admitted to the greatness of dwarves, but I do just need you to, just for the bit, to admit that dwarves are...
Well, they absolutely are.
Yeah?
Like, hands down. Yeah.
Pins.
Yeah, if you asked me on a campaign or tweet, I'd be playing dwarf, hands down.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Is that are you buttering me up to put you right?
No. Here's my philosophy: if you're playing a one shot, don't play anything you've played before, because, like, it's the perfect, especially with the Welcome End, because of your partnership with D&D Beyond, where you can play a lot of the more flavorful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And just have access to that. And I think, okay, I'm not going to play anything I've ever played before, because why would I do that when I have all these options?
I'm unlimited.
But, like, I want to be in another D&D campaign, and I want a dwarf to be back. I had one at the beginning of the year, and it kind of just fell apart before COVID. Actually, it wasn't due to COVID; it was before stuff. And I miss her. I miss her a lot. And she was my little cleric baby, and she liked to do things, and it was fun.
Hell yes with the clerics. Well, you kind of like segued amazingly into this question, and that question is, what class do you want to try next? You've got all these unlimited options. The world is your oyster. What are you thinking?
Oh God, I was looking like literally right before this. I was looking through. I kind of want to play a ranger because I've never done it one before. I know.
I'm sorry.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. I love it.
And I kind of really want to play a monk because Marissa Ray's character on Critical Role, just fun, punchy things. My style in video games is I like to hit things with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
If I have that option in a video game, that's the option I'm taking. I'm a very martial fighter, so I think it would be fun to translate that into a setting as well.
They are very, very good, monks are. Like, amazingly good. I'm surprised we haven't seen one really in, like, a campaign here yet, either. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Parker?
Oh, sorry.
You're good, boss. You're really into this mini.
It's hard to get around all this clear bit at the bottom.
Oh, it's so much work.
I'm having to focus.
Sorry.
What race do you want to try next? I feel like we've talked about this.
All of them.
Okay.
All of them. But probably kobold. I want to play a kobold really, really badly. I want to play a little dragon, little boy who's excited about life and blowing things up.
You're a feral energy player, aren't you?
Oh, 100%.
Good.
Absolutely.
Entirely. I hope you're ready for it.
I love me some feral energy. That's awesome. That's really good.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see. So, in your experience, and, again, this is open to Pathfinder as well, what's your least favorite class to play, and why?
Which one just didn't do it for you?
Yeah.
Go ahead, make people mad at you. I see that face.
What are you going to say?
I don't know. I don't. They're all good in their own way. Like,
cop-out answer.
Yeah, you can flavor anything to be what you want. I'm not kidding, guys. I have D&D Beyond's character builder up right now, so I can look at all the classes.
That's
and
amazing.
Races. I guess, I think fighter is a little bland. Like, I think human fighter is kind of like the most bland thing you could be in a world where you can be anything. I can see the appeal. Don't get me wrong. I can see the appeal. But, like, I probably would never catch me playing a fighter, just straight fighter. Why would you pick fighter when you could have barbarian?
Oh, my God.
There are reasons.
Pins, you're hurting me so badly, but I can respect that. It's valid. I mean, all of these are always subjective, so it's.
All depends what you're going for.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right, Parker, I think you're up again.
Oop.
And now I'm the worst.
Let's see. I know. Okay, so least favorite race to play and why?
This is gonna give me heat. Elves.
Okay, elves.
Elves.
Here's the thing. I knew you were gonna say that.
It's a more popular answer than you think. Yeah.
If anybody had ever asked us to pick Lord of the Rings characters that depends on my friendship is, it's just Legolas and Gimli.
Yeah, I am Gimli.
Yeah,
I am 100% Gimli.
But I get it.
Hoity-toity, let's go live in some trees and judge other people for just merely existing and just not
your MO.
Fun time. Don't get me wrong, if elves were real and one was like, hey, come join my kingdom, I'd be like, all right, bye everyone.
Peace.
But,
you'd go into the west. You just don't wanna
go.
We should do an all elves one shot just for you, Parker. Just to
Just for me.
Just
Just
for
has to be a bunch of elves and rangers, so
Just-
everybody can make fun of me the entire time.
an all elves ranger one shot. Like that's it. And it like you have to play it and you have to enjoy yourself. Mandatory
Second
fun.
part.
I'd make
Second
Sean
part.
playing it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Be my like next 4 birthday presents.
Ugh.
Sean
I'm
would
here for
hate
it.
it. Sean would hate it.
He would do it for you though.
Yeah,
He probably would. He
He'd-
probably would, yeah.
he's
But yeah, just like
He
you,
played a
I
ranger
think
for a hot second.
elves are really boring.
he had fun with that
Yeah.
ranger too. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
True.
Pins, you're a pretty like you do a lot of content creation. You're on Twitch, you do cosplay work, you and your partner work together. What's the catalyst for this? What's your origin story? How'd you get into content creation?
Like most cosplayers, my favorite time of the year is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found out people dress up all the time without having to be one night a year, I got really excited. And then, because there was a con near like my house, like right down the road from where I grew up, and like I went there in high school with like my friends and everything, and I put together like a closet cosplay that wasn't any good, and it wasn't of anything. It was an OC, and this was back before like OCs were like seen as valid in the cosplay community.
Mm.
Because this was before 2010. And I really enjoyed it, and I'm always been a big fan of like Renaissance festivals and like just all that jazz. So when Snip and I got together, one of the things we found out that we both really like to do is just make things and create things. And so I'm like, okay, well, like, let's cosplay stuff together, and let's find something that we like and let's cosplay from it. And what I really like about cosplay is I've gained so many life skills, from sewing to like just building stuff. And so we always try to make a costume, pick something that we've incorporated the new skill that we can learn.
That's good. That's really cool.
And so another part of that is I'm an attention whore. And
As are all cosplayers.
It's true.
and Instagram did it for a while, and then algorithms and all that jazz got awful, and then Parker was doing this fun hip new thing called Musical.ly, and
Oh shit.
R.I.P.
and then I downloaded it so I could watch her stuff, because I'm a good best friend and
Just
supportive and giving those likes. And then I'm like, well, she seems to be having a lot of fun. I want to have fun too. And so this was at the height of the Captain Renegade tag, spelled incorrectly.
Yep.
I don't know
And
what that
so-
means, but it sounds amazing.
But it sounds amazing.
The word captain was misspelled because the video that went viral, the tag creator had accidentally spelled it incorrectly.
Nice. As all good things
Yeah.
are started.
As you know, because you can't correct spelling on TikTok.
Yes.
Can't edit and post, guys. So yeah, I threw together a little pirate character and just like made stuff, and it was fun. And ever since then, I've been hooked.
That's
It's-
awesome.
It's just, especially because back I used to live in Tampa, and I was a part of a theater company there. And when we moved up here, I didn't really have a place for that creative outlet to go. And I'm not as dramatic as if I'm not acting, I'm dying, but like it definitely helps keep me sane.
You want to have like that kind of yeah, it's absolutely valid, like having that outlet. You have to mean something to you.
Yeah.
All right, well, okay, we got one more question, chat, but before that, start preparing your questions, because it's time for chat's turn to ask questions after Parker asks this last question of ours. So prepare yourselves, make them highlighted, and we will read them off. We'll try to get to some of the ones that aren't highlighted as well. You know, Pins has a billion amazing, cool stories for you, so roll out those good questions. Parker?
What is your biggest hobby outside of D&D?
I mean, we just touched on this. It's
We did.
definitely cosplay.
Hmm.
And just definitely creating things. I really like just the amount of times I said, I want to cosplay that. I want to cosplay that. I can't, like, look at anything anymore without, like, deconstructing things and being like, how would you make this? How would you bring this in from the screen and into reality? Or how did they do that if it's, like, a live-action movie? How did they recreate? And how could I recreate that with the tools and the skills that I have?
That's so cool.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
God, that's cool.
I'm gonna throw you a little bit under the bus or embarrass you, but I would not be cosplaying anymore without Pins.
Oh.
Because Pins was the one who told me to make my own, get ready for it, cosplay Tumblr. That's where we were at the beginning. So here we are.
Tumblr.
Yeah,
We
so
were there.
forever and a day ago, back when dinosaurs still roamed the earth
Yeah.
and DashCon hadn't happened yet, cosplay Tumblrs were taking off, and a lot of cosplayers were moving from cosplay.com,
Whoa,
which
what?
was a forum-based website that a lot of cosplayers were on, and they were shifting to Tumblr.
Including
The
Matthew Mercer.
attitude- Including Matthew Mercer. Matthew Mercer was on cosplay.com.
As
like, an
Matt
active-
Miller.
Yep.
Wow. I'm learning so much. There's so much history here that you guys have.
And a lot of people were posting because there was a lot of elitism on cosplay.com. They would deny it, but there definitely was. And Tumblr was, you know, if it's a pretty picture, people would like and reblog, and it's a great form of just like serotonin when people like and reblog. And so I really always enjoyed taking pictures at cons and showing them, because there's nothing better than finding a picture of yourself at a con. So I would always try to like take pictures of everyone and just post them there. And so Parker and I, at the same time, because I didn't want to do it alone, made cosplay Tumblrs, and then eventually we moved to cosplay Instagrams, and then that became cosplay TikToks.
Wow. What a
Here we are.
legacy.
What a legacy! And
What
here
a
we are.
legacy. You guys could write a book on the history of cosplay. That's
Absolutely not.
Not that old.
No.
okay. All right. We got questions here, and I'm going to read them because Parker's killing it with this mini, and
I'm really sorry.
No, you're good, because I've reached a point where I did a bunch of shades and I don't want them run together, so I need to pause. So while you guys paint, I will ask questions. And the first question is for me. Excuse me, is for Azur, not for me. Azur asked this question. What has been an unforgettable moment for you in-game?
So the only live session we've done with my campaigns that is on Wednesday, it's a Pathfinder 2 campaign, and I play a gnome sorcerer who my GM likes to joke that has Disney vision. Like anytime she like talks to an animal, it's always like big eyes and they're like saluting and everything, and that's how he describes all these interactions happening. It's hilarious. So she's great, and I love her to pieces, and she just took the spell dinosaur form. And it had been some time since our last session, because we were playing on a Sunday rather than a Wednesday, because we were playing right after his wedding. And we were in the middle of this battle, and we're fighting this big rock, which is like a vulture type humanoid thing. And I turned into a T-Rex. And he absolutely lost his marbles because he forgot that I took this spell. And so I turned into a T-Rex, and I grappled and fought with this awful thing that was there. So that was my favorite like combat moment. And then my favorite like RP moment comes from the same campaign, and it was right after we got done defeating the first big bad of the book. Like we were wrapping up the first book of the AP, and we were on the way back, and we were talking about what we were going to do with all of our gold, because as players we all know that we're in it for the long haul and we're going to be here forever, but you know, of course our characters don't know that.
Right.
And one of them was like, well, you know, we could put all of our gold together and fix up this castle that we now own, or I can take my cut and just leave. And my character got so mad, and our characters were just yelling at each other. And at one point, she makes him a pinky promise, to protect him.
Oh.
Except her skin is bright pink, and his nickname for her is Pinky. So he looks and he says, wait, is that like with the digit, or is that like for you specifically? And just everybody at the table just broke down laughing, because it was just a very emotionally charged moment up until this point.
Super soft.
It's just like setting character motivations down. And it was just, it was so funny. That moment just lives rent free in my mind and gives me a lot of joy.
Oh. So, Hound asks, what's your favorite type of pizza?
Green olives.
Green olives?
Just green olives.
What's your...
I can't get that anywhere.
This is my expansion on that question. What's your Pathfinder character's favorite type of pizza? What's Pinky's favorite type of
dessert? Storana is her name.
Storana.
And it would be dessert pizza. It would definitely be like a cinnamon roll crust with like marshmallow and then like shredded candies on top for toppings. Very sweet. You wouldn't be able to actually eat it as an adult. I don't understand how she's alive with the amount of sugar that she eats.
Oh my god. We've got another Azure question here, and it's: is there a system outside of D&D and Pathfinder that you particularly enjoy? And if there isn't, is there a system you'd like to try in the future?
I really want to do a Call of Cthulhu campaign or Monster of the Week. I think those are really, really cool systems. I keep joking about it, but I've actually run a Tales of Equestria game, and it's a lot of fun! It's very simple, and it's how I roped my family into playing D&D, is modifying the Tales of Equestria system.
That's what sold them? You're like, do you want to play a My Little Pony focus thing?
No, I didn't! They weren't playing ponies. We had modified everything to be Christmas themed, and instead of ponies, they were elves.
Okay.
And it worked really well!
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I got the book, and I rewrote everything to be all about elves trying to find a kidnapped Santa Claus, and it was great. It's very simple, and it's very run and go, and any system where you can drag people into the world of tabletop and get them hooked is a good system. Yeah. I want to try them all.
That's true. Oh, excellent. Just a Singing Geek asks, what is your favorite story as the result of a Nat 20 or Nat 1 in game? And Pathfinder handles criticals a little differently, I know, but...
Yeah. So we also play with crit cards in my game.
Nice.
And so I rolled a 20, got a crit card, and I think she was using her crossbow because magic just wasn't working out, and she decapitated him because of the crit card, and his head exploded, and it was just such a cool narrative moment for her because it was just not a fun fight. So yeah, I think that would have to be it. Either that or No, I lied. I take it back. My favorite Nat 20 moment is, so Starana had a bear. It's currently MIA. It's the equivalent of Dimmy and Bims for people who watch Conundrum Companies. That's their relationship now. But her backstory had it where she was very friendly with animals just because that's what gnomes are. And so we were in this dungeon. We went up to a door and we heard a bear roar, and we were like, okay, we're not messing with that right now. And then we went into this other room and we were having a pretty hard time with battle. So my character ran out and went to go get the bear, and I rolled a nat 20 on my animal handling check. So the bear decided to come fight for us. Then he became my animal companion, and that's how I got Bosco.
That's adorable.
She also feeds him too much candy.
Of course. Well, bears and candy too much candy go hand in hand.
He gets honey candy though.
Oh, that's healthy. That's environmentally
Yep.
a little more sound. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Next question. If you could cast Find Familiar, what would your familiar be?
A cat.
Tanner prefaced this question. Mythalidor is the one who asked it. He said, "I'm pretty sure cats is the answer," but that's
Wait. This is me casting Find Familiar. Titus! 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 Come here! Titus!
He's gonna ignore you now.
you don't have the incense you need. Sorry.
No, I don't. Titus! Come here!
Incense being food.
Ah, yes, the
Yeah.
famous food incense. Chat, don't eat incense, please.
Don't need incense.
Or paint water.
I'll take
Parker.
this one instead.
What? You outed yourself, sir.
That's true.
I didn't
I
do
deserve
anything.
this. I deserve
There's
this.
Wormtail.
Hi, Wormtail. There's your familiar.
There's 7 cats in that house, by the way, guys.
That's a lot of kitties. All right.
Not.
So then the next question comes from Queen Shard. Queen Shard wants to know how many sets of dice you have.
Full sets. I have 2 pink sets, although one is missing in action right now, and I don't know where I put it. And then I have a baby blue set that are very tiny and small.
Ooh, cute.
They roll really well.
Yeah.
They saved us
And-
from a storm on Saturday.
Oh, those were
then-
oh, that was a good roll.
One of the first games I played at Dragon Con, they're like, "Do you have dice at home?" And I said no. And they gave me a set of yellow dice.
Aww.
So those are the complete sets that I have. And then just over the years, I've managed to accrue odd D20s and D8s and all that jazz just from like people at conventions will just hand out dice if you go to like a Critical Role meetup, and it's the best thing in the world. So I have a lot from that and just gifts from friends and stuff like that.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so good. What's your favorite Pokemon and or Digimon? Asks Hound. Hound likes the not D&D questions. He asks about pizza and Pokemon and Digimon.
I'm gonna twist this into a D&D question.
Ooh.
If I could turn any Pokemon into a familiar in D&D, it would be Bulbasaur. It'd
Tell us
either
why.
be Bulbasaur or Magikarp.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nope, that's the
Magikarp
correct one.
Magikarp is actually my favorite Pokemon. I know that's like awful, but I love the idea that he's a Pokemon that tries and tries and tries and tries and tries, and eventually, if you work hard enough, your efforts will be shown.
Motivational.
And, yeah, and I love the mythology of the koi jumping over the special rock and turning into a dragon that exists where Magikarp comes from, and I think that's really cool. So I think that would be really fun for RP purposes. Just having this like fish familiar that just kind of floats and just does nothing for, the first 12 levels and eventually turns into a dragon that really does some damage.
That would be badass, honestly.
And then Bulbasaur, I think just so cute. How can you not love like a little plant? And Parker, what was the thing you were playing that changes with the seasons?
What was I what now?
What you were playing something whose general appearance changed with whatever time of year it was.
Oh, my Tiefling Fey. Oh crap! It's a UA.
Eladrin?
No, it's a Ranger subclass that was a UA that was you remember the Strahd campaign we played for 5 seconds?
Yes.
That's the color changing Tiefling.
Oh.
So I figured Bulbasaur's would work in a similar genetic line to that, where they change throughout.
Like Bulbasaur's
the
from the Feywild, and he just changes
yeah,
with the season.
and they change with the years, and that affects like what their attacks are, is what time of year it is.
That would be very cute.
That is adorable.
That would be really, really cute and really, really fun to play around with.
Just a singing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Don't let me interrupt.
Oh no, just the idea of owning a Bulbasaur would be also
That's true. Pretty
fun.
cute.
Because of all the 3 original starters, they're the only practical ones to own as pets.
I
You
would
either
own
get
it.
water damage or your house burns down with the other two.
I would own a Charmander, and I would just move from house to house. I'm always fire. That's my
That
baby.
makes sense.
Oh, really?
Lord.
Just a Singing Geek wants to know more about your first OC. Tell us about your first OC! Exclamation!
On TikTok?
What?
Nope,
Her
they're
name?
talking about that original one from the con.
Ooh.
Oh.
I know that's what
no.
Liz means. I know
No,
it.
we're not going into that. Okay, so I was the really nerdy kid.
We're not going into
we
that. Immediately
liked,
goes into that.
Renaissance festivals, and there's this like magazine that my grandma would get, and like was full of like witchy type stuff. That I had a few garments on, like long skirts of like in like garnet, and, like dark brown, and just like very witchy and like what would now be cottagecore type of stuff. So I threw together like a witch type character / matey type character with the stuff that I had in my closet, and bought some steampunk stuff while I was there, and like threw it all together. So yeah, that was my first OC. There are pictures somewhere on the internet. They were on MySpace, so they don't exist anymore.
I mean, Ren Fair is such an important part of so many of our like origin stories. It's the same with like Matt and like Marisha. Like all those guys have been doing Ren Fair since they were like all of us too. Like since we were like 6 years old. Like my parents were like, "Oh, this is educational. Let's bring them here." Little did they know, 4 years later we'd be like, "I want a full set of armor, please."
So like my first Ren Fair experience was, there was one when I was really little that I don't really remember well, that my sister was my older sister took me to.
Yeah.
But then in middle school, our middle school went, because the fair that I worked at for 5 years, they would have a festival Friday where they invited all the school kids in, and
Right.
the cast put on historical like talks and everything, and I thought it was the bee's knees, so I got addicted. And I eventually ended up working there as cast, and as much as it pains me to say it, I'm as good of an improver as I am because of all the stuff that they taught me there, even if it wasn't the best working conditions.
Yeah, they can treat their cats pretty rough. I've heard that.
Yeah, there's nowhere in fair in this country that actually treats their cast right. You can try to tell me that they do, but they don't. They either don't pay enough, they don't cover enough stuff, they don't have insurance for all the crap that goes on there.
It's all the same people too that work in it. It's just a circuit. Yeah.
All the circuit, yeah.
So let's see. This is Azur asking on behalf of Vault. It's a classic question, and the question is: as a player, if you could play as any monster from the Monster Manual, Volo's Guide, which monster would you choose and why?
Well, this is getting difficult because they keep making all the monsters I want to play actual playable races.
That's true.
Because for a while it was Goblin, and now you can play as a Goblin.
Which is the best?
Oh God, I think playing as a gelatinous cube would be fun.
It's a good one.
Just
Good
a
choice.
sentient gelatinous cube, and just always being like, I'm hungry.
Did I ever tell you the story? I know I've told this story before on stream. Did I ever tell you the story of how I played a goblin who was actually a gelatinous cube?
I feel like I would remember this story because I've been in all of these, but I don't.
I'll tell you after stream. It's a good story. Parker's met this character. He's a feral
He's
nightmare.
great.
Anyway.
I love him.
Yes, good choice. Excellent choice. Thank you, Parker. Okay. That's such a good question. Okay. Hound asks, oh, hey, Hound, this is a D&D one. What villain from any non-D&D media
Josh's subtle call out.
would you... I'm just teasing you, Hound. You're the best. You ask any question you want, buddy. What villain from any non-D&D media would you want to see in D&D? This is actually a really good question.
Rocket.
Team Rocket?
We already did that. Sean and I already did that.
You did do Team Rocket. But I'd love to see Team Rocket as like a monster. As like a mob that you have
Like
to
a
fight.
two-headed, something where they fight.
I love the idea of not an actual like threat to the party, but just someone who keeps trying to interrupt with the party's plans, and the party just like nicely deals with them, as like doesn't kill them and just like shoos them all their way. I feel like that would be so much fun as a DM to torture my players with. Or I saw this written up and I want to do it in a campaign one day. I want the goose from the Untitled Goose Game to be an antagonist.
You just play the old man who keeps getting knocked over by the goose.
That would be the players, and then they keep with missing stuff and they wouldn't realize why.
That's so bad.
The rogue goose.
That's amazing. Oh my god, I love that so much. Okay, big question here from Just a Singing Geek. If you had to choose a D&D class or Pathfinder, but they admit they're not familiar with Pathfinder, for yourself in real life, what would it be? Would you multi-class? So what's your D&D or Pathfinder class? Or would you multi-class?
So this is what I want to be and what I am are very different things.
Let's get both.
I think I'm the mom friend. I like people come to me and I like talk out them, so I would probably have like high wisdom, even though my perception is god awful. And I'm not very strong, so I have to be some sort of caster. So probably a cleric is like my go-to.
Good choice.
Or just some sort of control wizard, where I'm just getting everything together and just using gravity well to, which is a spell wizards have, which is an AoE spell which like grabs people into one space, and just I'm a cat herder and that's what I do. So that's probably what I am.
Okay.
I would love to be a Swashbuckler, which is a Pathfinder class where it's kind of a mix of fighter and rogue.
Yeah.
So you're a very show-offy person, and like everything ends with a panache. It's just a fun class that I haven't gotten to play yet that I really want to, and I just can't find the right build.
That recently released, right? Like that's in the...
Yeah, that's very, very new.
It sounds cool. I need to get that book. I'm curious now. That's awesome. So Swashbuckler, you want to be all finesse and cool and swag.
I honestly, so I'm from Tampa, and Tampa has this thing called Gasparilla, which is pirate Mardi Gras.
Nice.
So my entire life I've grown up like entrenched in pirate culture, and at the end of the day, that's probably what I am deep down inside. That's why the Renaissance Festival like ticks all those boxes for me, and like acting and all that jazz and all that, and like fighting and all that fun stuff. So I think just Swashbuckler is like the closest I would ever get to that in D&D or Pathfinder or any other system. If there is a pirate system, let me know. I want to play.
I want
to,
based on this question, because I've got you both here, before we get to the other questions in chat, what class would you say Parker is?
Oh no.
She's a druid.
Yeah? Okay. Why? Tell us more. Tell us more about this druid being.
Parker has never met an animal that hated her.
Really? That's fair.
I cannot think of a scenario in which that happened. Like anytime somebody has like a pet where they're like, well, they don't really like people, they're all over Parker. And druids also have the ability to like heal, and they also have the ability to fight. So Parker is the type of person who you can come to be lifted up for, and you can also depend on her to like protect you if you need it. And she's not above like transforming into a tiger and ripping someone's head off if it's for it.
So I have this character concept for Parker that is just a hyper-organized druid. Like, you know how druids are usually like portrayed as like really flighty, but like this druid like categorizes every wild shape. Like it has like wild shape cat alpha, wild shape
Pro
cat.
and cons.
Yeah.
Pros and cons list.
Spreadsheet druid. Spreadsheet druid.
100%.
Absolutely. I'm here for it.
Oh, that's so good. That's
Spreadsheet
amazing.
I
druid.
definitely should have started painting this before stream. I haven't even I've just barely got.
There's
That's
no
how it
obligation to
works,
finish. You just get what you get. You get where you get. You
get where you get.
get where you get. So, what is your favorite type of monster? Like aberration, celestial, etc. And what's your favorite monster of that type? Like do you like aberrations? Do you like the celestials? You know, Ifrit, like the Jinn, all of that. Like, what kind of do you like? Undead? Do you like stuff from the Shadowfell? What really stands out to you?
Sorry,
monsters?
I'm 5 years staring here because I'm just like thinking of everything that I've ever fought. I think it just depends on like what the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
I think fights that involve fighting humanoids can be just as valid as fights that are fighting monsters, especially like what your character motivations are. Because, you know, not every human beings are human. We're not inherently one way or another, and like I disagree with anybody who says that any race in D&D or Pathfinder or elsewise is inherently one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think going through that and just realizing that anyone can be a monster is fun.
The real monsters are inside us. Is what you're saying?
They're
Yes.
inside us all along.
Absolutely.
It's a good answer.
But like in terms of like the actual like monster guide, evil dragons.
Any kind of evil dragon. Yeah.
Any kind of evil dragons. I like dragons. They're cool.
They are cool.
Big same, big same.
They're badass. You can't. It's in the title of D&D. Dragons
Yeah.
are cool, man.
You
Tough cookies.
can't change that. And I really like how these various tabletop systems deal like with, you know, there are some good dragons, there's some bad dragons, and even the good dragons are kind of like and even the bad dragons are kind of like
Yeah.
Just depends on how you interact with them.
You can do such funny things with the cliches too. Sean once, when we were playing Pathfinder, threw a dragon at us that was not a dragon. It was a wyvern that had convinced a bunch of kobolds it was a dragon, and it
Oh my god, I love this so
it was really good, and like you could play off those tropes too, which it was hilarious. It's such a good one.
Just by kobold.
Yes.
I'm on a real kobold kick right now. Goblins got legitimized, and so like now it's
Now
just
you're
like,
gonna
all
be-
right, kobold.
What's the next for? Kobold lore is amazing too. It's so good. So do you have a favorite spell and a least favorite spell?
My least favorite spell is anyone that doesn't do what it's supposed to do, and the dice don't treat me right.
Oh, so you're just loving like RNG. Okay, got it.
My favorite type of spell is actually my signature spell for Serana, and it's called Sudden Bolt, and it's 4d12 at level 2, and then 5d12, 6d12. It's her signature spell, and so she can take it at any level.
Mhm.
So she gets a slot. And it does a lot of damage, and it just calls a bolt of lightning from above and just knocks him out. And it's great because it's a DC, reflex DC. But the funny thing is, and this is the other funny story of just like utterly being betrayed by the dice. The campaign we're doing right now involves us attacking a whole bunch of like things that are on towers, and they keep managing to roll higher than like a 22 to 25 somehow. So we keep joking that they're wacky inflatable towers. Just that's why I keep missing. But it's my favorite spell ever. It's very useful. It gets the work done. And electric arc is also really nice. I like electricity spells.
You like that's a good one. Okay, hold on. I'm rolling back to some questions here. You said you were a feral energy player, but what is your favorite style of play? Like, do you like exploration, combat, horror, mystery? What really does it for you?
I love exploring character motivations. I'm always that player who like starts RP like during like downtime and just like talking to other players and seeing their motivations and seeing like what's going on inside of them and like checking in to see how they're doing and whatnot. I really like the humanity and the connectivity of playing with different sets of people and just like getting to know a group of people through their characters. So I really like that. And then I do like combat, but it depends on the combat. It depends on the situation. I don't.
You like combat where you're winning?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the situation.
No.
Situation.
It's
Me
more
too.
of a like, is this a situation where you can like actually handle things? Like I don't like boss raids where you're just going and going and going and going and you don't have a chance to rest because you're in a dungeon and who feels safe enough to rest in a dungeon? So
I feel very much put on the spot by both of you here. I can see Parker
Hello?
internally agreeing.
No.
What?
like-
Never. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm teasing you,
like
too.
that with video games though too. I'm like, oh my god, is it ever gonna end? There's
Yeah.
no save point in sight.
but
I'm not a Darkest
gotta
Souls
make-
fan either. Like that sort
You
of.
gotta make your own fun along the way.
But I do like coming up with clever ways in combat to use the spell, so it's not just the same like 3 actions every single time. And like finding ways to flavor it towards the character.
That's good. That's always fun. I think we're right at the end here, Bob. We've got time for one more question, and I think this is a pretty good question here. It's by Just Singing Geek again, and they ask, "Do you have a favorite OC? Which is your favorite? You've got so many out there.
No.
You don't have a favorite?
Parker will answer this the same way. You can't pick one because they're all your children and you're
For
not
all your babies.
you're
Yeah.
not supposed to have your favorite. Like I have OCs that I've never done anything with. I've just created them. They live in a Word document somewhere. I think Starana is like one of the biggest ones right now because she lives in my weekly stuff and I've done a lot of writing for her. And I get to play with her every week, and it's a lot of fun. But in terms of just like TikTok and stuff, I think what we did with Captain Renegade, with Neve, and all of that was a lot of fun. It was just a really fun experience of storytelling for them. So in terms of TikTok, I was like, yes, it's her. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite. If there was one, somebody was like, all right, you gotta pick one and you can only do that for the rest of your life, I'd be like, no, I quit TikTok. Or I like chose one to do all that. I don't understand how people can just do one thing and just stick with that. My brain is too like scattered.
You got to be everywhere.
Yeah, because with every OC is a different part of you. And,
Mhm.
because OCs are therapy.
That's true.
Yep. Like D&D.
Like D&D.
Little
If you're
parts
not
of ourselves.
If you're not exploring some part of yourself in every session, are you doing tabletop correctly? No.
Therapy games.
I never miss my therapy sessions.
I will leave on this note. In terms of that, is that I'm absolutely afraid of lightning in real life. Like, during like June and July when it's the rainy season here, I'm like, I have a blanket around me. I'm not okay. I have music blaring so I can't hear it outside. I like try to shut the curtains so I don't know it's lightning. And my freaking caster's favorite thing in the world is steal electricity. So I guess it's just like having control of the electricity that's just very therapeutic.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's well. So where do these good folks find you? Tell us. Wait, I lie. We're not there yet. First, we need to see how much you painted. We need to see where we all got before we close out this show. Then
You
we'll
can't
say.
even tell I did it. It's gray now.
Bring it in closer. Let's take a look. That's a lot to paint.
It is. It's a lot, and it's not well done at all because I'm just schlepping paint on still.
You gotta get to your detail
I
stuff.
go in there, and then they come out down here.
That's beautiful.
Hopefully.
You might have been like the smartest in regards to like I should just pick something that I could just go on and not have to worry about it. You might
not have to worry about it.
Parker, how about
But,
you? How
yeah.
you doing? What do you got? Oh my God! Look at that guy! Wow! Look at the.
those
Do you see the fade?
wings.
Yeah. Parker, you legend.
That's so cool.
Oh
I'm
my
still
God.
fixing him, but yeah, he's doing okay.
It's beautiful.
It's hard to get around all of this.
I didn't get much done, but the shades are on the cleric for the metallics and blacks, and
Ooh,
on
have
his.
you named them?
I have not. I need to.
Josh doesn't name things.
I'm not good at naming.
It's one of his.
It's. I name OCs. That's about it.
Okay, so they all have to have the same name, but just different first letters. So Derry, Mary, Very, and
Gary.
Yes, there we go.
Gary.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
how it works.
We added in some. I added in some shade around the mouth and eyes for these
It
guys
looks
too.
so good.
It looks really good. I love all of them.
Somebody-
Although I will say the whole they look like the Eminem.
Eminem
They
people
do.
or the California raisin. The bard looks like the California
They
raisin.
do.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a
100%.
throwback right there.
I think if you anthropomorphize anything, that's what it goes back to.
It's the gloves. It's the white gloves.
the
Just
gloves.
the Calif. Just all goes back to the California raisin.
So, Pins, speaking of California raisins, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at CaliforniaRaisin.com.
That's not true.
You can find me Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 3 to 6 on Twitch at Pinssnip. You can also find me at TikTok at pins.snip, Twitter at pins/snip. The uncommonality of things in here, and Instagram at pins.snip.cosplay. And honestly, there's a link tree on all of those things where you can find me everywhere else from Etsy and all that jazz. So yeah.
And what have you been streaming recently? What's your go-to game right now?
So I just finished Night in the Woods, which was amazing and spectacular and just enough spooky for me. But today, because I had this and I didn't want to have to worry about anything, I played Dauntless on stream because the season is about to end and I'm not at level 50 yet. So I needed to get those things up.
Amazing. So catch Pins streaming as well. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, I also talk. It's Snip and I, and we talk about things like what books we're reading right now and what's going on in the world and all that jazz.
That's awesome.
We talk about cosplay too. So yeah.
Well, thank you, Pins. It's a delight having you. Guys, hold on to your pants because we're going to close out, but then we're going to go ahead and raid our good friend Youth Pastor Ryan, who's live right now playing Among Us. So let's, give us a few minutes to close out.
Sus.
Yes, so sus. Let's find out who's the sussest. Pins, thank you again. You're the best. Parker, it's always the best doing this show with you. Bye, everybody!
Bye.